Hi, computer scientists! Today we're going to learn how to use multiple lists to give us more information. So you might have seen some BuzzFeed quizzes like this. These 9 questions should reveal exactly what movie you should watch tonight. And they ask you which questions you want, and you answer them. And then they give you a suggestion of what movies you should watch. So we're going to create a program that does something similar. The first thing I want to do is create a list of movies that are in my database. So I'll have a variable called movies, and I set it equal to a list that has all my movies. So remember, to start a list, we always start with a bracket. Then we're going to put each movie that we have in quotation marks. So let's say we have Frozen, The Incredibles, The Notebook, Crazy Rich Asians, Captain Marvel, and Batman Returns. So let's say we have these 6 movies to keep it short. Now we want to create a list of scores. So I'm going to call that scores equals a list. I always start with a bracket. Now this is a number that's going to have how much you like each of these movies. So at the beginning, we don't know any information about whoever's taking the quiz. So at the beginning, we assume all of the movies are at 0. 0, and we're going to make 0 for each movie. So we have 6 movies, so we need to have 6 zeros. So right now, the chance that you like Frozen is 0. Incredibles, 0. For all these movies, the chance that you like it is 0. Now we need to ask some questions. When we ask questions, it's a good idea to give an idea of what kind of information you want. So I put here, print, answers will be taken as Y or N. So I want everyone to type their answers. If it's yes, just Y. If it's no, just N. So now let's ask our first question. What kind of question, yes or no question, could we use to determine whether you like one of these movies? So Frozen and Incredibles are kids' movies. So let's ask a question. Do you like kids' movies? How do you ask a question? Well, we use input, put parentheses and quotation marks. Do you like kid movies? Question mark, and put a space so it's not right next to it. Now we want to save their answer. So we need to create a variable for their answer. Let's call this user input 1 for the first input, the first answer they give us. Now we need to update the scores based on question 1. Well, we have different things we need to do if the answer is yes or if the answer is no. So how can we check what their answer was? We need to use an if statement. If user input 1, it equals or is, means double equals, yes, or Y we said, put in our colon, then which ones do we need to update? Well, Frozen is a kid's movie. Which index is Frozen at? Frozen is at index 0. We want to change score at 0 to be increased by 1. So scores at 0 equals, and we want to increase it from wherever it is to 1 more. So we're going to say scores at 0 plus 1. Now also, The Incredibles is a kids' movie. So we need to change this score as well. What index is The Incredibles at? 1. So scores at 1 equals scores at 1 plus 1. Increase that by 1. I'm going to put a print here, and so we can see what's happening. Run. Do you like kid movies? Yes, I do. So now our scores list has 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0. So that means we like Frozen and The Incredibles based on this first question. But that doesn't give us enough information, so we need to ask a few more questions. What can we describe some of these videos as? The Notebook, Crazy Rich Asians are romantic movies. So let's ask, let me delete this. Let's ask if they like romance movies. So we're going to create our second variable. Let's call it user input 2 equal to input, do you like romance movies? Put a space. How are we going to check if the answer is yes? If user input 2 double equals y, then which movies do we need to change? Well, The Notebook and Crazy Rich Asians. This is at 0, 1, 2, index 2 and index 3. So scores at 2 equals scores at 2 increased by 1. And the same thing for scores at 3. What else can we ask? Do you like action movies? The last two here are action movies. So let's ask a question. User input 3 for a third question. Input, do you like action movies? Now, if the user input 3 is yes, colon, then we need to update index. Actually, I might even say Incredibles is an action movie as well. So this would be 0, 1, index 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 4, and 5. So here, I'm going to put scores at 1, at 1 plus 1. Same thing for 4 and 5. Let's see, what other questions can we ask? Well, if you like comics, you might like Frozen and Incredibles because they're cartoons, and you might like Captain Marvel and Batman Returns because they're comic books. So let's ask that question and update our scores based on that. So here I wrote our question. Do you like comics? And which indices do we need to change? 0, 1, not 2, not 3, 4, and 5. So I put that over here. Now we can ask more questions to make it a better quiz, but let's keep it a short video and find and print our 2 top favorite movies. So to do that, we're going to use a function called max. Into max, we're going to put our list. So we want to find the maximum score. So we're going to put max scores. That was the name of our list we were using. Now this will return the value of the maximum score. So if we have a movie that got 3, it would return 3. But we don't want to just say your highest rated movie is 3. We want to say which movie you should watch. So we need the index of this value. So to do that, we're going to use another function called index. We put the name of the list first, and we put dot index, and then in parentheses, the value that we want, which for us is max scores. So this gives us the index of our favorite movie. So let's save that as a variable. So let's call it index favorite 1. Now to find our movie, we have to use our movie list. So we're going to say movies, and the one that we want will be at that given index. So movies at index fav 1 will be our favorite movie. Let's save this. So let's call this movie fave 1. Now we also want to give the second favorite. If we do this again, it's going to give us the maximum value again. So we want to change scores at our maximum value to be something less than anything else we have. So we need to change scores at that index of our favorite, index fav 1, equal to -1, because -1 will be less than any other thing we have. Now we can repeat this again to find our second favorite. So 2, 2, 2. Lastly, we need to print what our favorite and second favorite are. So your second most favorite movie is, we're going to put a plus and put our variable movie fav 2. Your favorite movie is plus movie fav 1. Let's run it. So when we're running this code, we're now here. It asks the question, do you like kid movies? Let's say yes. Now we're in question 2. Do you like romance movies? Nah. Do you like action movies? Yes. Do you like comics? Yes. So it says your second most favorite movie is Frozen, and your favorite movie is The Incredibles. Your assignment is going to be very similar to this, except you're going to do a foods quiz. So you're going to create a food quiz using lists and indices. You're going to make a list of 6 different foods. You can change this list or keep it if you want. You're going to ask 8 yes or no questions to find out what their favorite food is. Update the list, just like we did here. And after all 8 questions, print their top favorite foods. That's all for now. Bye!